Good day, everyone. Wow, do we have some interesting things going on today about your Canadian government? Do we have a lot of different things going on as COVID-19 is being used as excuses? But what is really happening? Are we having concentration camps out here? Has Justin Trudeau and Doug Ford invited over the United Nations into Canada? And for what cause? Is this all true? Are there really other Chinese people at our borders from the United Nations? Well, let's take a look.
Listen as he addresses the situation regarding the border.
Deployments on the southern border, as you know, with Mexico, and we had some troops up in Canada, but I'll find out about that. I guess it's equal justice to a certain extent, but in Canada we do have troops along the border. You know, we have a lot of things coming in from Canada. We have trade, some illegal trade that we don't like. We have very strong sanctions on some. We have very strong tariffs on dumping steel, and we don't like steel coming through our border.
Well, that could be a reason why Donald Trump put tariffs on Canada, but why is it such a good relationship with Justin Trudeau? And of course, China. Is that really a lot of news that we want to have out here? Is that really enough proof, though, that we have troops here? Well, let's take a look.
This rally in Rimouski, which is on the south shore of Quebec City, nearly about 340 kilometers roughly. Beautiful place. So anyway, we've put this rally together, and we worked with the police, the Sûreté du Québec, which were really awesome, very well organized, and everything was ready to go. And about halfway through the rally, we started experiencing some problems. We've noticed there was some drones watching us, and suddenly some special forces took over the event and tossed their policemen aside and started ticketing everybody. And found it, and I don't know if you hear in the videos, you can hear all their robots that are coming out of their cars, you know.
Let's speed it up a bit to see what they're trying to say.
People are saying, what's going on?
And there was a lot of them. I can show you that on another picture, but there was a lot.
Yes. And
But if you really look at it, seeing the United Nations soldiers there out of Quebec, and you know they're coming to Ontario next, but really, is that really enough proof? When you really think about it, if you're really looking at it, because you know, people call me a conspiracy theorist. Person who makes everything up, person who doesn't have an idea what's going on. None of these things are real. For some reason. Well, let's listen to your Ontario government. Maybe that'll help you. Let's take a look.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. In my supplemental question yesterday, I asked this government if the people of Ontario should prepare for internment camps. In September, the federal government posted a call for expressions of interest for contractors to supply, provide, and manage quarantine isolation camps throughout every province and every territory in Canada. These quarantine isolation camps, however, are not limited to people with COVID.
They are not limited to people with COVID. Why are they being built? Why is the United Nations Army here? And why is it that they're using COVID-19 as one thing? As martial law, to lock all of Canadians down. Is this a reality? Well, let's listen a little more.
A wide latitude for many people to be detained. Surely this government is aware of the intentions to build these isolation camps from coast to coast. And my question to the Premier is, how many of these camps will be built? And how many people does this government expect to detain?
Question. From House Leader.
Thank you.
I would also like to know who gets those contracts for those places, who in the government friends get it, why is there government collusion happening during this time, and why is nobody else of regular citizens getting a bid for it, for these contracts? Because it's all dealt with one thing: collusion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is very true that when people leave the country and when they come back in, that the province is suggesting, and the federal government, in cooperation with the federal government, we're suggesting that people isolate themselves. That has been a practice that has been very successful, not only here in the province of Ontario, but across Canada. And we will, of course, be redoubling our efforts to make sure that the people of the province of Ontario remain safe, Mr.
If they are to remain safe, then why are they building them? And he already stated that it had nothing to do with COVID-19, and he's talking about isolating people coming over from COVID-19, but really, in the end, they're going to use COVID-19 as martial law for Ontario and all of Canada coming up very soon. Other than that, we would not have the Chinese United Nations here. Not even America, Chinese.
So if the member is referring to the fact that that one of the public health policies is that when you return from a jurisdiction outside of the province of Ontario or from another country, that you isolate yourself for 2 weeks, I would suggest that has been a good policy that's been working. In fact, this House has been doing the same thing since we came back. We are working in cohorts to make sure that the legislators.
And you're right, they are working together. They are working together to lie to you step by step. And not once did he give an answer why they are being billed. And not once did he come out there and say, and he knows that it's not for COVID-19.
You continue to operate. That's why we have 2 separate cohorts, Mr. Speaker.
Response.
Cooperation with the official opposition. That is why all members of the independents have been excluded from that cohort, because we want them to be able to participate in debate. So we'll continue to do everything in our power to make sure that this House continues, but that the people of the province of Ontario and Canada are kept safe.
Supplementary.
Why would you clap for such a ridiculous thing as that when he gave no answer over, no realistic anything, as you have the Speaker of the House sitting right there? Don't ask me what he's doing, because all he sees is a bunch of liars, and he gets paid to listen to lies, make decisions out of the best lies, and who gives him the most money.
Again, thank you, Premier. Here's the RFP, and in the RFP, it uses clear language to express that these camps can be used for a broad spectrum of people, not limited to travelers. Indeed, it doesn't even mention international travelers. It's just a broad latitude of people. And I'll send over the copy of the RFP after. So your government must be in negotiations and aware of these plans to potentially detain and isolate citizens and residents of our country, in our province. So, Speaker, to the Premier, where will these camps be built? How many people will be detained? And for what reasons? For what reasons can people be kept in these isolation camps? And I'd like to have the Premier assure the people of
Member, take a seat.
Wow. Isn't that interesting? Concentration camps, United Nations here. Your Liberal Party's aware of it. Your Conservative Party's aware of it. Your NDP Party's aware of it. And this loser right here, the Speaker, is guaranteed aware of it. All of this is nothing but government collusion to do one thing: control society. Donald Trump would never do that to his people, maybe to a city, but not to a country like Canada, has plans for us.